Aussie, old mate, you're just about stuffed. Sorry, mates, but the time has come when you have to be told a few home truths. Aussies are as brave as lions when it comes to facing guns, swords and bombs, but if we think someone will call us names, we go dingo straight away. Hang on, that's rough. How can you say that? Well, it's like this. 100 years ago, Sydney was a Western European city in the Antipodes with a small Aboriginal minority. It was a friendly, open place, and nobody ever locked their homes in the 1920s. This is true. Then we fought the Japanese tooth and nail and won, didn't we? I've just come back from Sydney, and when I walked through the CBD, I found that it's an Asian city now, and will be forever, and everybody locks up everything always, so we obviously trust nobody. Now, I don't want you to blame the Asians. They really had nothing to do with it. It was our country. But we thought someone might call us a racist or a homophobe or some form of a nasty, so we couldn't throw in the towel fast enough. Sydney's gone, and Melbourne, Perth and the rest are following. And there's almost nothing that we can do about it, because we just can't take the risk that we might be called bad things. We've long given up on the country, and it's no use asking Aussies to have a little courage and defend the place from overwhelming immigration, because the simple fact is that we don't have the bottle for this kind of thing. We are abject cowards when it comes to facing name-calling, and most of us don't have the courage to admit that either. So what can we do? We can go mongrel dog. Until the next election, we slink around and we say nothing because we're frightened. We pass this around and seldom admit that it came from us. We'll even pretend that we like Australia being raped, if only it keeps them from saying bad things. But come next election, deep in the polling booths where nobody can see, for the briefest instant we go raving mad. We put every sitting member last. Bloody hell, if only 10% of Aussies would go mongrel dog and put their sitting members last, every politician in the country would lose his seat. If you like this bone, bury it deep in your heart. Take it out every 3 years and put it away again for next time. Having an election where every sitting member was defeated every election would be such hilarious fun that I would like to do it forever. But who would then run the country? Idiots, of course, same as now. But it won't last, because eventually they'll think up something to please us so much that we might keep them for a while. Like what? Well, in Switzerland they have only 3 things: mountains, goat's cheese, and the voter's veto. The voter's veto is a mechanism whereby 5% of people can cause a referendum to be held to repeal or propose legislation. If they don't vote to accept a migrant, he stays out. With only hills and cheese, they must be poor. No way. Switzerland is the richest country in Europe because the people control the politicians. Should we try this here? Why I don't like this idea at all. I've got this idea in my head that what we need is hero politicians. The Nick Xenophons, Pauline Hansons and Bob Catters are all duds, mate. None has shown any interest in allowing us to control the future of Australia. They all make a profession out of saving us, so it would be a tragedy if we could save ourselves with a voter's veto. They don't even consider giving us a way to save ourselves. It's all, we'll save you, we'll save you. Yeah, right. But my politician is only the second worst one. What if we get a worse one? In the last 100 years, we've changed governments many times. Did any one of these offer us a choice as to whether Sydney should be kept Aussie or go Asian? Every politician we've had in the last 100 years has been the worst one possible for 2 reasons. Firstly, because none would give us a say on anything, and secondly, because they were there allowing our destruction without our consent. If a politician exists and he doesn't agree to allowing the population to have a say on one issue at a time with a voter's veto, he is the worst politician that now exists. Why I do like it a lot. I can knock my politician down. We can knock them all down if only 10% of us go mongrel dog. Nobody can say anything nasty about us because there's a secret ballot, and so we can carry out political murder anonymously. And we can keep doing it too, for as long as it takes. We don't have to listen to any election propaganda. We don't have to agonize over which politician is the worst. By putting every sitting member last, we can defeat them all. A finer bunch of skittles deserving to be knocked over has never been presented to us so invitingly before. Knocking them down, one and all, will be the greatest political event in our history, and the most pleasing and satisfying one. Then there's the scientific interest in the thing also. How many politicians will have to be knocked down, and how often, before they give us a voter's veto? What will be especially enjoyable will be the pollies that have been knocked over getting snaky and nasty and saying dreadful things. Excellent. We don't want to be heroes, and we don't want to elect any heroes either. We want to get a say in the future of Australia in the most cowardly and despicable of all ways possible, and all because it's the only thing left to us. We mongrel dogs won't form a party, march in parades, or even tell each other that we're part of the pack. Mongrel dogs are born cowards. They slink around in the shadows and only whisper to each other. They're mongrels in both name and nature, but when the magic day comes, they bite every sitting member really hard in his ballot box. We have only one motto, one thought, and one endeavour. We put every sitting member last until the voter's veto cometh. Authorised by the most mongrel dog of the unkept kennel, Queensland. Send all donations to the child next door, because we don't want your money, but your action would be nice. Become a little outrageous and get the voter's veto for Australia. It's time.